He was arrogant, extravagant, and elegant like an English king.
Muhammad Ali loved, that's who I am. I'm the last in the line of the goats. I am GOAT.
But he was also brutal, ruthless, and capable of destroying his opponents with a single punch. The cheetahs, they loved him, they hated him, but no one could look away. Chris Eubank was not just a boxer. He was a phenomenon, an icon, and also a man marked by tragedy. He was born on August 8, 1966, in Dulwich in South London, England. Raised amid poverty and abandonment, Eubank endured a very harsh childhood marked by domestic violence, chaos, and loneliness. At 16, he was expelled from school and sent to live in New York City with his mother. There, amid gangs and precarious jobs, he found something that would change his life forever: boxing. He joined the famous Jerome Boxing Club in the Bronx and promised that one day he would become a world champion. Even if no one believes in you, if you weren't born with talent, you forge yourself with discipline, and if no one respects you, you make them fear you.
And he'll keep this up now. Jacobs will fly in there, and there it is. It's all over. It had to be. Eubank.
He returned to England as a new man, serious, elegant, and with a different kind of ambition. Inside the ring, he was clinical, elusive, and unpredictable. But outside the ring, he was extravagant, mysterious, theatrical, and the British public didn't know whether to love him or despise him. He didn't fight just for the sake of fighting. He was highly intelligent, and every punch he threw had a purpose. Every movement was part of a strategy.
Good right-left combination from the champion.
You get the feeling that Eubank is just waiting. Oh, what about that? Oh, that is just right over. What a finish. Oh, my God almighty, that was a super.
That was a piece of a shot.
In a short time, he became a sensation, but it wasn't just because of his talent, it was his attitude. He had a refined accent, looked like a Greek statue, all of that, even before the first bell rang. Eubank was a media phenomenon, but he wouldn't become a legend until he faced a demon of the ring. In 1990, he faced the most feared man in the United Kingdom, Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer, a brutal knockout artist, savage and relentless, with a style completely different from his own. It was chaos versus order, hatred versus elegance.
The A Championships. Was a good shot, that was.
He's not going to be able to strut. He's going to have to try and hurt Ben. He's done it.
He's done Ben by the look of it. Shot that right hand down those right above us, Ben, almost falling out in the ring on us here.
This is what we've seen Ben so dangerous from this position. Here it comes.
The fight was an all-out war, brutal exchanges, blood, pride, and honor. And when the smoke cleared, Eubank won by technical knockout in the 9th round. He became the middleweight world champion, but more than that, a legend had just been born. For 5 years, Eubank remained undefeated. He defended his title more than a dozen times and became one of the most famous and highest-paid boxers in Europe. His fighting style divided opinions. Some accused him of being boring, but no one could deny his charisma and brilliance inside the ring, or his ability to turn a fight into a true spectacle. September 25, 1991. In a London arena, a night that would change boxing forever and mark Eubank's soul for the rest of his life. It was a rematch. The first war had been brutal, and although Eubank won by majority decision, many believed his rival deserved the victory. This time, Michael came determined to silence the doubters.
Very good turnout.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the trouble in the first half minute of the round, but once the pace slows that little bit.
Obviously,
From the very first round, Michael Watson was an implacable shadow. Precise, technical, strong. Round after round, he wore him down, blow by blow, without mercy. In the 11th round, Eubank was on the edge of the abyss. Michael Watson landed a perfect right hand and sent him crashing to the canvas. And just like that, the champion was almost finished. But in his final breath, Eubank, mean as if rising from nowhere, got back to his feet and unleashed a miraculous hook that sent his rival to the canvas, turning the fight completely around in an instant. Shortly after the fight, Michael Watson collapsed. He fell into a coma that lasted 40 days. He underwent 6 brain surgeries, spent more than a year in a wheelchair, lost his speech, his mobility, and nearly his life. And Eubank, the man who had defeated everyone, felt that day he had lost far more than a belt. He lost his peace, he lost his competitive fire, and he lost the joy and excitement of stepping into a ring. In the years that followed, his reign began to weaken. He lost twice to Steve Collins and later faced a young Joe Calzaghe in a historic fight.
Untried.
Calzaghe is a very fast start at 10 first round wins.
Oh, and left hand! Put for about 2, but had to take a mandatory 8. What a start.
I said 10 first rounds.
The Eubank has never been stopped. But Calzaghe is... Eubank is in some trouble here. He may need all his resilience and strength.
Eubank answered with everything he had. He endured punishment, but his rival took plenty as well. It was a relentless fight, a clash of generations, the final roar of the old lion against the heir to the throne.
Left hand from Eubank. Lots of ways away to him.
That's too weird sort of ring.
Calzaghe won by unanimous decision, and just like that, a new legend of British boxing was born. But that night wasn't just about a new champion, it was about the end of a golden era for Eubank. He wasn't knocked out of the ring, he was passed over. He handed over the torch with honor in a battle that still burns in the memory of the fans. Today, Chris Eubank is a cultural icon, a mentor, a father who tried to guide his son Chris Eubank Jr. down the same path in boxing. Even though many criticize him, his legacy is undeniable. He was a pioneer, a provocateur with style, an aristocrat inside the ring. But above all, he was a man who never stopped believing in himself, even when the entire world pointed at him and called him a clown. Years after Chris Eubank hung up his gloves, the name Eubank echoed through the arenas once again, but this time with a different look and a different voice. Chris Eubank Jr., the son of the warrior, stepped into the ring carrying the weight of his last name on his shoulders and the pride of continuing a legacy.
Yoderin being forced backwards and a thunderous left hook! Looking for it from Doran, but there's the switch upstairs there, and now goes Doran again. Though I think every time he lands to upstairs as well, and Doran's resistance is fading very fast indeed.
The legacy didn't fade, it simply changed eras. The Eubank name kept shining, carrying the same pride and defiant spirit. Christopher Eubank was never an ordinary boxer. He was a paradox, a savage gentleman, elegance mixed with violence. Love him or hate him, his name is forever carved into the history of boxing.